Peace, and welcome to the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. This is a space for, but never limited to, people of color for discussing sacred plant medicine, pregnancy, parenthood, and more. You know, there's such a stigma on who can open the floor for conversation on these topics that are viewed as taboo or even inappropriate. This fact alone has made so many become fearful of the very thing that could help us rebuild families, create our own businesses, and most importantly, trust our role in this world as future ancestors. So wherever you are, take a cleansing breath and do your best to listen with an open mind, heart, and spirit, and let love lead the way. I'm your host, Taylor. Hey, welcome back to the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. Today I have a special guest with me. Her name is Maria, also going by the Psychedelic Mexicana on Instagram. I'm going to let her introduce herself and a little bit about what she does. Maria, would you like to share with us today?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Taylor, for having me on your podcast. I appreciate it so much, and I really appreciate all the work that you're doing and the platform that you're building for our community. My name is Maria Robles. I am from Michoacan, Mexico. That is where my roots are. I was born and raised in California, and I live on the coast in Ventura. And right now, the highlight of my journey is going through the Vital program, which is a psychedelic training program that is put on by Psychedelics Today. And I am connecting and building my sense of platform, especially for the community that I'm from, which is first generation Mexican Americans, and building the bridge between our roots and the obstacles that come about from being first generation Mexican Americans.
Wow. So can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, I went to school. I majored in holistic health, and throughout my college career, I studied a lot about psychedelics. So any chance I got to do a research paper or presentation for my class, it was always around psychedelics. And I was not able to find a modality that encompassed the root or finding the root of problems until now that psychedelic education and training is coming more into the accessibility for people. And that is what I am creating my niche and my expertise to be in. And the market that I'm wanting to service is my community, is Latin communities, first generation Mexican American communities.
Wow. So I'm curious, are there any specific medicines that are indigenous to your community that you use within your studies or that you may just use within your own practices?
Yes, I primarily use psilocybin mushrooms, and I am in the works with helping my friend's retreat in Oaxaca, Mexico. She is Azalea on Instagram, Vibrational Healing with Azalea. I'll be visiting her this year, 2022, partially as a requirement for the Vital Psychedelic Training Program. So it's a requirement for me to participate and work with her in the retreat setting. So it'll be a 5-day, 3-ceremony retreat that I will be serving and also participating in. So psilocybin mushrooms are indigenous to Mexico. Maria Sabina, we love her and appreciate her so much. And the funny thing about the community that I want to serve is Mexico was, colonized, and a lot of us were raised Catholic. And so the Mazatec tribe that Azalea works with, the Mazatec tribe does use Catholic symbols and some Catholic practices in their psilocybin retreat ceremonies, because it is still, psilocybin mushrooms are part of the Mexico culture, but because we were colonized, they use Catholic symbolism and practices in their ceremonies also. So it's like bridging the gap between, our roots are mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, but we were also raised Catholic, Christian, but we were also immigrated into the United States. So it's like there's a unique intersection for us that are in the psychedelic space.
Wow. Yes, I much respect to you for getting to carry on these practices, not just in the studying form, but also implementing it in your own life. So, being that this is indigenous to your own community, may I ask what some of your first experiences were like working with psilocybin?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest experiences that I had with psilocybin, I guess the most impactful, is actually taking it in small doses to pull myself out of a depressive stage that I was in during college. And it was like a 3 or 4 month period where I navigated a small dose for myself, and I went against my psychiatrist who wanted me to go on Prozac. He wanted me to take Prozac, and he was upset when I told him that I wouldn't take the medicine and that I would continue having mushrooms. And ultimately, that's what helped me very much get out of that whole stage.
Wow. And did you continue care with him after?
No. No. It was like 2 sessions with the psychiatrist, and it was just clear to see the unfortunate reality sometimes with pharma and prescriptions. And fun fact, I actually started right out of high school. I became a pharmacy technician. So my first dive into wellness was, figure, okay, well, medications help people, right? Quote unquote, right? They help people. They're supposed to help people. So I found myself as a pharmacy technician. And then very soon after, I realized how unfortunate it really is. And along with other experiences, like my mom almost passing away and then finding herself into her own healing journey with holistic health, that's how I ended up in the holistic health realm, and now more specifically with psychedelics.
Wow. And how do you feel it has impacted your community in beginning this work?
Well, what I'm seeing in my community right now is millennials wanting to find relief and not being sure how to go about it. And because we were raised in a culture where mental health isn't really a thing, we are raised to, hey, you have a roof over your head and you have food on your plate, you're fine, you're good, go grind. And I could say Spanish curse words for how we were raised on how to just go on and get it done. You have food on the table, so you're fine. but yeah, there's cultural obstacles in taking care of our mental health, and so I see that a lot in my community. Just like I was one of them. I was in college, I was doing all the right things, I was in sports, great grades, going to work, and I was so not okay. And there wasn't really anyone I could talk to about it because, like I said, we're raised where mental health isn't something we really talk about. And so I had to take care of myself with psilocybin mushrooms, and luckily that was a safe and effective way of helping myself out of that episode.
Are you able to share these experiences with your own family?
You know, not yet. I don't share them with my family yet, um, because we are right now we're still healing from um, the passing of my brother. He passed away last in November of 2021, and he had his whole life of most of his life was he was very depressed, and he had some drug and alcohol problems, and this is even more so a reason for me to be there and build the bridge for the community, because I think that a lot of um, lives, well, it's the same spiel. We just want to help people that need the help and that want the help but aren't quite sure how to step into the healing that my brother could have had, would it have been available.
My condolences for the passing of your brother. And also, I also find it so beautiful that you are able to find a way to heal through through helping others. I have a little one in the other room. But I also would like to ask you, what is it that you hope to take away from this program you're in?
Oh, yes. Oh, well, so many doors have already opened from me taking the program. And initially, I had spoken to some people, some coaches, and I asked them, hey, do you really think doing one of these psychedelic certifications is really worth the time and investment? And some of them said, no, not really, because all you really need is the experience. Like, just go in and help people do their retreats, be of service. Like, you'll get enough experience from just working, from being present in the space. And for a bit, I just said, okay, yeah, then let me just find my way into the space. I had some trouble there, finding the right connections. And what I'm finding from actually deciding to partake in the certification program, doors just swing open, because it shows that we are actually really serious about having the professional guidance and education required to do this type of work. And absolutely, experience and hands-on, space holding and guiding people are just a vital part of learning to be a psychedelic guide or coach or integration specialist. But what I'm seeing by taking the Vital Psychedelic Training Program is it is so extensive in the content, and there are just so many aspects of the psychedelic industry that we are taught during the program that I could not have even figured out my way into curating a program like that. Like, for me, like, you have to do a lot of DIY workshops and talks and events to get the amount of content and education and peer support that we have in the program. So I'm really, really glad that I signed up and I'm going through the program right now.
With all the information you're receiving, do you feel that it compares to being a ceremony facilitator or space holder?
No, I don't think it compares. Because being a ceremony facilitator and space holder, that is one niche of the industry, is like actually doing the ceremony itself. Whereas the course, yes, we're learning about the ethics and we're learning parts of what it takes to be in the ceremony realm, the retreat realm, and the different parts of that. But the program also teaches us the pharmacology about several substances, about there's a philosophy of psychedelics course, and a professor from the University of Exeter in London taught us a class. And just countless, there's just so many other aspects of the psychedelic industry that we learn about, whereas and it's like it's all encompassing but also detailed. Mm-hmm.
What do you think is one of the most important things that you're learning that is helping you within your own family and your healing journey that you learned throughout the program?
Yeah, one of the things that has helped me the most is understanding how important it is to heal ourselves in order to provide the guidance and the space holding for others. And that looks like making sure we're having therapy, making sure we have our own self-care routine, resting, eating well. It's like the requirements to be a good psychedelic guide and integration coach they're a lot. Like if you want to be a good one, like you could go to a doctor that went to medical school and is like fresh out of college, or you can go to a doctor that's been helping families for 10 years, and that they know the dynamics of helping families in their own homes with their own illnesses. So it's a lot. And then another part is understanding the ethics of being a guide, understanding the boundaries and the how would I say it? The boundaries and like the touch, meaning when it's appropriate to put your hand on someone's shoulder, or having an agreement with the person beforehand about maybe allowing a hug or holding your hand if the person is having a difficult time, or if they're crying intensely, is it okay to hold their hand like because I mean, just being during a psychedelic experience, everything is so heightened and everything is so much more sensitive. Like we need these very simple agreements beforehand to understand what is okay and what is not okay, because it is easy to hurt somebody that's going through an experience unconsciously. We don't mean to hurt anybody, but sometimes holding a person's hand, if they're having a very difficult moment, sometimes that's still not okay.
It seems that you're learning to really be gentle and tune in with people as well.
Yes, definitely. Yes, and that is also somewhat of a bridge into clairvoyance and intuition. And that's also another part of my journey, is tapping into that and learning how to help people without them having to verbally speak or write, or like we could just feel like we would know what they need. And a lot of times it's allowing them to heal themselves. It's allowing them to have trust in themselves, to be to trust their inner healer. And we're just there to facilitate the space for them to heal themselves.
So, in being involved in both the science and the spiritual aspect of it, do you believe that they'll be joining forces together? Because I hear so many people on one end of the spectrum where they're more influenced by the spiritual side of it. And then there are programs like the ones that you're in, or people who are more involved in the scientific side of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that question, because our class this past Tuesday, we actually spoke about MDMA assisted psychotherapy, and we were talking about the science, all of the sciencey stuff, which I wasn't good in chemistry in high school, so that's always a challenge for me to understand entirely. But we did talk about the science part of everything, and then we also talked about what they were starting to call the woo-woo side of things. And there is an intersection there, because MDMA, like, it is shown to have the most impact and the highest neuroplasticity to develop changes, to change habits. But there is a part of this whole thing that is the set and setting to enable the patient to allow their inner healer to come out and resolve things. Like, there's an we have an inner healer, and as much as we want to talk about the science stuff, that inner healing topic always comes up. It's like, it's psychedelics and it's science, but there's inner healing, and that inner healing is what is like bridging spirituality and science, because there's just something about the philosophy, the physics there, that we're figuring out.
I think a lot about that, especially with it becoming mainstream, what that will look like with the resources and the availability. I wonder if, it will be withheld from a lot of communities because of the woo-woo, like you say. Like, I've heard that phrase very often.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is something to be careful for, and for my family especially, because they're all Catholic. That is something that I am navigating myself, because I'm very much taking this from the medical angle. Like, hey mama, I'm doing a training course, and I'm learning how to help people with new therapies that were illegal, but that some are plants. And we are now navigating how to help people with their mental health and other issues and pain management using these new therapies. And that's where I am. Like, that's kind of where I cut it out off. Then my parents are like, oh, wow, that's great. Good for you. You're helping people.
That's all they need to hear.
Yes.
So, in using your Instagram name, I feel like it's almost sometimes when we choose these names that we're going by, it's not just our representation to the world, but how we also feel on the inside. So why did you choose your Instagram name?
Yes, thank you for that question. I love my Instagram name because I identify a lot with my culture, and I visit Mexico at least a couple of times a year, and I'm very much rooted there. but I'm also very much like a California, like a typical California, beach girl too. So having the term psychedelic in that Instagram handle, the term psychedelic is American, but bringing it into a Spanglish, the psychedelic Mexicana, it brings both parts of my identity into the same handle. So it's American by the term psychedelic, and then Mexicana is my roots.
In the future, with the work that you do, what do you hope to give back to your community?
Yes, I am working on forming projects. So a lot of things are in the works right now. And I'm not sure how much I can divulge, but I'm seeing a lot of opportunities to have products that are accessible to my community, and events and retreats that will be accessible to my community. And I also hope to bring service. I hope to help other organizations that are already established that are serving communities like mine, communities like yours, and in a way that could be space holding, like the patient person side of things, like being with them personally, or being on a hotline, like the Fireside Project. Or I'm also, all of my work experience has been in operations, like bookkeeping, finance stuff. So there are a lot of there are a lot of opportunities going on, and it's just I'm still very early in my career exploration, but I'm just happy to be in the space and in conversation with different projects to see which ones we can help flourish, because we're very much still like early in this whole psychedelic industry boom. And I just want to make sure that the work that I'm doing is directly involved with um, our people that serve communities. That's why Oakland Hyphae is like big on my list to see how I can help them. Or the Alma Institute is providing education for like the it's like a Latin kind of education institute. And yeah, just so many startups, so many young organizations and young projects that are in the works. So we'll see. I mean, we're all very inspired and motivated to work on our own projects and work on everyone else's projects. But like at the end of the day, not everyone's going to make it. And so we need to decide like how we stick together to make something really work, instead of trying to do our own thing separately all the time.
Yes, and I believe the work that everyone is doing now is going to be pioneering this new avenue for people who look like us and within our communities.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
So one of the last questions I had for you is, what does the future of psychedelics look like to you within this country?
Oh boy. I hope that it does not become so regulated that we have to go through so many hoops and obstacles to make sure that we have the accessibility to our communities. What I am excited for is to see how the Oregon decriminalization goes through, and if we can sort out Oregon and help therapists offer psychedelic assisted therapy, then I think a lot more states will follow their example, and California will follow their example. And I think it will be more like a cannabis. I think we're following a similar path, but I think psilocybin is more, I feel like psilocybin is more feminine, more tender, more like a big hug and compassion. So I think things will turn out better.
I believe that as well. And definitely in its feminine nature, I think with the shift of everything going on in America right now, that's why it's going to do much better than initially how cannabis did when it was introduced.
I think so too. And before I forget, for somebody like me who is not a licensed therapist, there is a niche that we are looking into, because it is possible that there may be opportunities to have a kind of psilocybin recreational space. For example, in where is it? Like somewhere in Amsterdam, you could walk into like a psilocybin cafe, and they'll have psilocybin or truffles, like treats or teas, and you could just go in and have a little something to snack on. They'll educate you. They will, there's cozy places to sit. There are books, there are painting station and drawing stations. So for somebody like me who isn't like a licensed therapist, those kinds of like psilocybin kind of like recreational kind of bars or like hangout spaces, that's an opportunity too.
That sounds amazing. I look forward to seeing things like that appear in the future to normalize it and make people more comfortable with the idea of it rather than running away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, imagine like instead of on a Friday evening going out to a bar and like drinking alcohol and like listening to loud music and like yelling over the music to try to talk to your friend, instead going to a psilocybin space and like hanging out with your best friend and painting and just having a good time. Like, I think alcohol is outdated, but we still do it so much.
I think things like that will definitely start to change the vibrational frequency that's going on right now, where everybody is feeling so low most of the time. And we are supposed to have both, I believe, the light and the dark within our lives. But if we could learn how to navigate through that without using substances like alcohol, it could provide better understanding and hopefully bring families back together, bring community back together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if more of us can have more exposure to it, and it's just a gentle step into more open conversation and expressing our care for others. Because some families, my family personally, we don't say I love you. That's a problem.
Yes.
You know?
So I have one more fun question for you that I would like to ask. Outside of psilocybin, what has been one of your favorite plant medicines or anything that you like to work with for alternative medicine?
I'm not, well, Let's see. The thing is, psilocybin is very helpful for me to practice my meditation and like calm myself and slow down. But because my personality is naturally very mellow and calm, what I find that works with my personality actually is microdosing on LSD. Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's a surprise or not, but
I've heard a lot
it
about that
works.
lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really helps me, with anxiety and with shyness and with articulating uh, creative ideas that I have. And part of that, honestly, part of that is trauma because, being raised, it's like your voice doesn't count. Don't say something unless it's like entirely urgent or important. So it's like LSD allows me to speak my thoughts without having so much reservation. Whereas LSD brings, I'm sorry, whereas psilocybin brings me more into um, listening to my inner, like listening to myself. So I become more in tune with myself inside instead of uh, working outside of myself.
Thank you. I appreciate all of your words today. And if anyone would like to connect with you, I don't know if you are open to that. How can we find you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to speak with anybody. I am an open book. And if you are especially Latino, I would love to connect and build some projects, explore ideas. I am on Instagram, the Psychedelic Mexicana, and that's the easiest way to reach me. From there, we can set something up. I'm happy to chat.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today. And my hope is that your words and your willingness to share your story, your identity, and your experience through this very old and ancient, but now new and reintegrated industry experience community that's going on right now will inspire many after you. So thank you so much for being here today. And I look forward to speaking with you again in the future.
Yes, thank you so much, Taylor. I appreciate your time,
Thank
and I'm
you.
glad we're here.
Thank you. Thank you. All in love. So thank you again for listening to the Tailored Healing Collective podcast. Until next time, let love lead the way. Peace. I detach from the old. I have a crown of success. I am sure of what is coming, and let the universe do the rest. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. Time is a dimension that we enter when we choose to align with self that's divine. It first exists inside of our minds. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I manifest what I want again and again. I visualize my desires. I create with intention.